Thank you very much, Alex. I'd like to pass it to Mr. Keshe if he'd like to come in here.
Good evening. I've just got in past few minutes, and unfortunately, I do not know what the topic has been or what you spoke about. But what I heard from Alex regarding the protein and the rest, it brings back to one fact that this planet will never run up oil, will never do. Does not matter how much we tap into its reserves, it will create the same. But the fact is, are we going to need it anymore? Are we going to be able to tap into physical resources of this planet? Or are we going to tap into the fields and energies of the universe that we can make anything we need? Is not with what we have in hand unimaginable that you can still run your cars with a fuel as you have, but instead of tanking it, you create a system or develop a system in the car that absorbs the energy and converts it to the fuel that you want. In so many ways, the science is overtaking the technology of the present time. And to what extent we will change the situation of technology is to be seen from now on. What we call Austrian presentation in 2 weeks' time will bring a watershed in the world of science. We know why, we know how. And today or tomorrow or next week or next year will not make any difference as the knowledge is shared, but knowledge will be shown physically. And to what extent and to what limitation those who come to these presentations will take the knowledge and add to it and come up with something totally different than what is, and or create a new environment, new conditions, new systems that will complement the present or literally make it obsolete. The way the systems are set up to be shown, we'll see the effect of it, we'll see the operation of it. And what will bring with it will be a change. We've seen it before. Our scientists in Iran have produced substantial amount of materials in the past week. And so it's not that materials cannot be produced. And the scientists have managed to produce substantial amount of zinc, which was set up to achieve. And we move to the next steps. And what is in progress in the scientific world will change a lot of things. As was said a few minutes ago, I think within 5 years, we look down the line and what happened in mid-second half of this decade and the beginning of 2025, we will see a revolution in industry. We see a revolution in science. We see something very interesting, which will bring a lot into our world. There is a hidden movement which has taken shape, and we see, well, as I said, as I shared, the revolution has started in a deeper way in Iran. And as we will see, these are what we call the line set up by the government, by the supporters of Iran, supported in the back of the government of Iran, to bring a new dimension. This is a propaganda that has started in the back of Iran, and we will see the father of modern plasma science, a message of peace. This is what the Iranian nation is fed now. This is what we see. The technology is put forward because the government of Iran, the Iranian nation, scientists have realized what has been achieved, and they are processing it. Daily launch of new technology, bringing the Keshe Foundation into new science and new dimension as the government stands a new change. What was put away now has become a reality. And we will see, and the message is very clear from Iran. And the message is new technology, new science, and in so many ways, what we did not expect. Would we need to look further to understand more? Or do we need to bring new scientists? Or the new scientists will add to what we know, and new dimensions will arise. I think in early 2021, we will see the changes we're waiting for. And the message is very clear. And in so many ways, life has taken new shape. And we have broken through health. We've broken through new technologies which will be shown in Austria. But as the world now is struggling with what is with Corona, with the new technology, is hungry for a new change. And it's about to come. In our discussion with the officials and the people who work with us through the operation in Iran, we will see massive support for Keshe Foundation across the world through the support of Iran. And then we'll see how knowledge seekers or true knowledge seekers will bring this message to public. Then I I think in 5 years, due to simplicity of the technology, many things which we take for granted today will not be with us. In so many ways, would we see shortage of water? Would we see shortage of food? Would we see a new dimension in a flight system? Flying from Tehran to Beijing in less than 10 minutes is a reality which is on our hand. With the borders come into operation, would we see the end of what they call the wars in a different scale and different ways? Would we see the need for finance? And I think these will change in the next few months, and beginning of it will start. We are hoping to be in line by the opening of exhibition in Austria next week. And with it, we will announce step by step the support we receive from nation by nation. And I think will come the change, and we'll see the change, which we will not need anything. We will not need anything to rely on another part to feed us. And when we stand and we watch, the peace for human race is guaranteed. Indefinite permanent peace has been established. Indefinite and no food shortage is on the card. The only next step for man is opening up the space, deeper space travel. Man will get so busy with it, we will not have time to war, to go into war, because there's so much to attain outside, so much to learn outside, so much beauties to see outside this planet. And as I said, as we promised, we have established a permanent world peace. And this will come as part of the collective efforts of those souls who wanted it, and now they achieved it. What we consider as fuel and food is already resolved. As I said, in Lintz, we will show what has been your dream as a power generator. What you all tried for 5 years and you failed to achieve fully. We will show the power generator in a different way than you understand, but powerful enough if you understand it to create any energy you need. We will show the new system, the enhancement unit, both for material and health, or we've got body enhancement. And the world of science, for the first time, will see a conversion of what they call CO2 into liquid in their presence, as we all know the CO2 production. We'll show the systems for what we call eradication of corona, household units, which we shipped out of China to be ready for the exhibition. We show new dimensions, new ways, maybe over 50 or 100 different cancers with their application will be shown. And we show what we call agricultural unit. We show many other things in this conference or in this exhibition for 30 days to show that we have delivered a comprehensive new technology, knowledge, and science in one go. And with it will come everything which has been promised. National food security, world peace, unlimited energy supply, independence from medicine, health available at the point of need, but the one who needs it. In so many ways, Lintz exhibition, as I was saying to the head of Keshe Foundation past few days, is in parallel with Chicago Fair, when Tesla showed the light bulb for the first time internationally. We show the new technology, but not as a physical light, but the light of knowledge that enlightens the humanity. And if we come to an agreement, the systems can be said to be shown to fly in the exhibition. The Keshe Foundation team has made everything ready. Maybe it's time to bring that change in one go. As we said, world ambassadors and world leaders are invited to see the show. But what they will understand of it and what they take from it, it will be very much according to their intelligence and how much bribe they've taken in their back pocket. But from where we sit and where the other scientists around the world can participate, there should be no need for many things which we now look at it as a means to survive. Water, food, energy. I will see. We don't look in new technology to give you water. We look at the new technology that is available, that your body makes water within it, taking energies from outside to survive, the way we used to do in the womb of the mother. We don't feed you as you take energy as food. There's no need to harvest. You only take what you need when you need. The new world of science, the new world of reality where we sit and now we're launching it, will be very different in 5 to 10 years' time. Do we need to refine to take the oil, or we produce oil as we need for the purpose we need at the point we need? As I said too recently, we go to supermarkets, we go to shops to pick up orange or apple or water or oil. In the coming time, we go to supermarket machines which give the energy of those which might need. Do you want to take it home, or you can take it while you're here? We'll see. When I look at the enhancement units in past few days and weeks, every day I pass it, I see a new dimension, new energy, new system, new life. And we'll see what it'll bring for all of us. And we'll see how much our lives will change and how much knowledge seekers will change the life. If there are any questions you want me to answer, as has been tradition.
Dr. Dave, did you have a question earlier for Mr. Keshe?
Hi, Mr. Keshe. I did have one question. I've noticed over the past maybe 3 weeks or so that the first and second cups aren't working as well as they used to. My concern is this perhaps another mutation that has developed, and I was wondering what we can do about that.
What do you mean, first and second cup?
The first and second cups of life, as published in the scientific journal, I'm finding that the protocols, the first few months, the protocols work very well for my patients, but the last 2 or 3 weeks, they don't seem to work as well. People aren't recovering like they used to in the prior months.
This has been risen in Iran, and this is primarily is due that you lost the sight of your work. Many people have moved into gases mixtures, and they have forgotten the fundamental principles with gases. You are suggested to use 20% mixture of gases, but if you read the first protocols, you're advised to use the GANS waters. People are heading directly into adding gases because they think now they see something. Or you go back to original protocol, only use GANS waters. In the case of powerful attacks, which means corona has taken what we call accumulated energy, you add gases. And when you achieve the first stage of reversal, you go back to water. This is what we saw in the hospitals in Tehran. They were telling us exactly what you said, sentence, word to word. And I told them, what are you doing? Oh, we are adding gases, we are adding this. I said, those are when you need, when it's explicitly a stronger attack. Go back to basic. Use GANS waters, and you tell me. And they went straight away last week, and they said the results is back. It's the habit of the man who thinks the more he has, the more he gets. With gases, it's very simple. The humbler you become, the weaker you become, the more energy you drain from the virus. It's especially people who go for 20%, 30% gases. We advise you to go short time, sharp, decapitate the gases from higher energy and then go back to water gas. And you will see the same result, even better. Nothing has changed. Man's greed eyes for more gases to get better results has blinded him from the reality of the plasma technology. Go back to it. You will see you get better results than even before.
None of my patients are using the GANs directly. They're only using the GANs waters as originally done. I've never suggested that they use the GANs itself, just the water.
You'll find out what's your problem. What is the problem with your GANs? You're not producing the right GANs, or you're not producing the GANs mixture needed for corona. Unless you hit a mutation of it, then you have to find out how to change the mixture. Just understand you're dealing with a very clever virus. Don't change. Stay with GANs. If they don't, put them on a heavy GANs and see what results you get. If you don't get results with 20% mixture, go back to water. GANs waters in hospitals in Tehran are giving us the original design result. And now a new system has been developed in Iran for the corona patients. They have developed, I was just looking at it maybe an hour ago, new systems in hospitals that we don't even need to change the GANs anymore.
All right, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
If you don't get the results with the water, go back short term with 20% mixture, return back down again to water. But never lose focus and sight on using the water. If you get long infections, long-term infections, you're not getting any result. You try to create what we call the circulation of the energy in the lungs, if that is the lung case, which means you need to use, it's one of the protocols, the cup on the chest or on the heart. Then you move the lock. There is a number of ways you don't see because you leave saturation. But if you create a gas with the same material as before, check your system which is producing the gases. In China, we change plates every 2 days. All the plates in all the systems, which is thousands of them, change regularly every 2 days. If it doesn't work, it means you lost the strength to the virus. You have to produce a strength to the virus that you can link and drain it. Any other question?
Hello, Mr. Keshe. It's Dean here from the UK. Can I ask a question regarding the Lintz exhibition? When Tesla released his knowledge to the world, that exhibition was, I don't know how it was received at the time, at the moment, but what this exhibition that you're about to release to the humanity is so amazingly wonderful to hear. And it's such a big thing that how's the world going to react to this this knowledge that's about to be released? Will it be released so that all the media understand and release this information?
We are working even tomorrow. We are working in conjunction with the Iranian government media centers, radio, television, and international news. They are working to announce it from Iran to the international news. Austrian press has been and is under contact with the Keshe Foundation team, and will be a concerted effort by the Iranian officials in Austria to support the technology to be known by European nations. We are supporting this unless something goes drastically wrong as a joint venture between Iran, China, and Austria. And all the medias, all the dignitaries, some 51 ambassadors are invited. And usually we get about 30% to 50% of ambassadors always respond to Keshe Foundation invitation. We expect the Iranian ambassador with the presence of the Austrian representative from government to open the exhibition. But you have to understand the limitations of the what we call Corona. And then in the following 2 days, we expect those who are interested to complete the purchase or the orders. And then we see how it takes shape. We received assurances from Iranian officials that all the international media will be informed of such exhibition by Iranian scientists and Iranian development. There are systems embedded in this technology, in this system, which are actually built in Iran. It's not just by scientific base. There are electrical parts which is developed especially by request by our team in Iran, and it'll be embedded in the system.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. That's wonderful, wonderful news to hear for humanity. It's just such an incredible thing to know that this is actually happening, and that that sort of technology and the beauty that you're about to release is actually really here in this reality and about to manifest. And we thank you so much for your beautiful soul and for everything you've done for humanity. We really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. What we are trying to do is to turn the table on media in the coming week, the next 2 weeks, against the Keshe Foundation. And it'll bring a lot of attention, it'll bring a lot of reality, and we have to see how far what I call Fox News will have control over this. And we'll see how much we can bring it out in public. We'll see what will come up, as many people, heads of communications of largest organization in Iran have got involved.
Mr. Keshe, this is Yvonne. I haven't seen as yet any notification from the KF Global company on
What do you
the
mean?
stock market or...
We're keeping away from KFGL. KFGL valuation is beyond what it is in the market, and the White House has decided to put a hand on it. This technology belongs to Keshe Foundation, not KFGL.
Will that have further implications down the road on technology being produced?
We don't know, we wait and see.
Because I was hoping that they would come out with that so that it would get the virus technology going quicker.
There's a lot of things happening. Don't forget, our base support, which has been achieved, is sits in Iran. And we have to see what the next steps comes out of Iran. Even in Iran, we have oppositions and we have supporters.
Well, I hope it gets resolved very quickly, Mr. Keshe.
We've been trying for 6 months. We are just getting to, it goes from one thing to another. The European market, we'll call it common market, has taken a decision against Keshe Foundation collectively in the past 2 months that we try to ignore it, but the Iranian leadership has taken a position this technology has to come out. And now it goes KF with the support of part of the Iranian powerhouse and the rest of the world, and we'll see where we get. It will go through people's power, where people will do the technology to save themselves from Corona and the rest, and the governments will follow. It looks that way at the moment.
And will part of the exhibition be shown on the public workshop?
Possibly, depends what we decide. Not before the opening, maybe the following Thursday, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I have a question, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, Mr. General.
Good evening, Mr. Keshe. You said, look to the stars, it is a mono. Is our sun also mono?
Yep, 100%.
But from where came this composite cancers here on Earth?
It's no, just collectively. There is a base energy that becomes a star. And every sun carries a base energy.
and the interaction between itself and the others, which makes this diversity?
More or less.
Okay, thank you very much.
Is by others is a reduction within itself.
So most of this energy come from with itself, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
We got to understand, as is in the book number 4, hopefully gets published sooner or later, what we see as the surface temperature of the sun is not the temperature of the sun inside. Not necessarily. The high temperature of the surface of the sun comes from the inertial mass interaction with the fields of the planet itself, or the star itself. And the gases of plasma inside are cool as anywhere else.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Keshe, Stephen here from California. Are there any updates on Arizona at this time?
John tells us is nearing completion. Once we complete testing the units in Austria before exhibition, during exhibition, then we go with the delivery of the units to Arizona and the rest, which will start sometime in the next 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks. Because we had to find all the pitfalls, we had to find what is wrong, what is there. We must have corrected over God knows hundreds and hundreds of mistakes or corrections or adding to the knowledge since the design was done some 6 months ago.
So there's no political issues with that Keshe Arizona then in Arizona?
Why?
Everything. No, I guess they're welcoming the technology in Arizona as opposed to blocking it.
Technology is a joint European-Chinese cooperation imported into China, into America. And we are a major shareholder, we are a majority shareholder, the foundation is. And the structure sits with John. Everything is on target to open. The building should be ready. We had to design and redesign many parts over it. We are delayed by nearly 6 months, partially due to Corona. And then since we got on to assembly, a lot of things needed to be corrected. Now we're in the phase of delivery. The first 25 units already is in the structure, but we had to wait to see what we need to add to take off before completion. And once it's done, the computer side or control side has already been paid for nearly 6 months ago. And then it goes how automatically we assemble the systems and deliver. There'll be mainly 4 or 5 health centers around the world which open up simultaneously together or within a few weeks from each other. Arizona, Canada, in Far East, China, Iran. Brazil is on the card to play. Austria is another point for us, in Germany. We'll see rapid opening between, we're targeting around about 10 units minimum per center.
Mr. Keshe, I had another question. The Earth seems to go in cycles, and is the time in the coming future, very near future, a time where we could receive more meteorites?
Don't know. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. And secondly, if they come, we are ready to defend.
Good. So there is already a system in place to deal with that?
We have developed this technology nearly 12 years ago in Iran. And we have shown this work to Americans.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. Thank you so much.
This, the defense technology, the space defense technology is part of the space development, which will be developed in Tehran in a different way.
Mr. Keshe, Stephen here from California again. At this point in time, what do you believe is the biggest issue that's causing most of the countries to go into the post-corona mentality? What do you think is holding us up from being able to transition to post-corona?
Post-corona will come through financial pressure. Nations, massive unemployment. Government not being able to meet. Chinese government has issued warnings. In 2021 could be shortage of food. Already they're 1 year ahead, they're trying to warn. We see massive changes in fuel, cost of the fuel. We see colossal damages which cannot be repaired for 25 years. And these forces for governments to look for new dimensions, new technologies. Countries have run into, some countries, to double-digit unemployment. And some countries are very high, large number of people unemployed. And they need new technologies because some of them will never start again. Companies gone bankrupt, winded down. It's gone, not there anymore. So new technologies are needed. And we hear this one from Iranian clergies in past week very clearly about Corona. They have gone out, I can put it on, you can hear it, systematically saying the Corona, every new technology has to have a chance, especially Keshe Foundation technology. Forget about WHO. It works. We need it. We use it. And it has to become applicable. As I explained last week, President Rouhani decided to attack Keshe Foundation directly on national television. And we directly responded. And Officer Talakhabani and support team immediately went to the station and asked for a full apologies with the lawyer's documents. And now we are sitting and waiting. We will become gradually, one way or another, out of the cat, out of the bag. And we have to see how the governments will react to unemployment and the rest of it. Or as a new technology creating new jobs, we forget it and we move on.
In the political sphere, you had mentioned Harris before. Have you had any attempted contacts with the vice president nominee or anything at this point with regard to Corona?
We wait for a response from that side. What is the political situation now in the state?
Chaos, fighting,
We
diversion.
see it, we see it all. It needs to bring a point of collaboration and unity, a point where the change will come. And what we call new era will come through new technologies. There is no other ways.
Anxiety and depression seem to be a residual effect of this, that as more and more people are suffering suicides, heavy drinking. Hello?
We're listening.
Is there a protocol that can be applied to that aspect of humanity that would help those people balance? Perhaps it's already part of Cup 1, but is there, like the Cup of Soul, does that show an increased effectiveness to reversing some of those emotional issues with some people?
In what way?
The emotional anxieties and of stress of just, from the residual lockdowns and mask wearing and all these things that are being done to people to control them. Other than the benefits that we normally see, just is there a protocol that could be applied that to someone that suffers from psychosis or mental anguish?
Yes, there is, but part of it has to be balanced on by the government. Government can and have to show the progressive development. As you know, I announced weeks ago, we back Kamala Harris as the vice president to be the president. She will be the first black woman president of the United States. And in that process, we see the collaboration with the Harris's administration as part of that change to come in. And what we see in the distance is Harris will bring a woman white vice president. For the first time, we see a joint female leadership in US. And with it, we see the liberation of women movement in America and responded worldwide with it to bring the kindness and love of women and mothers into forefront, not the men anymore. When I announced we see Kamala Harris as a viable candidate, many people questioned it, and we see now it's happened. And this is as part of the process we saw within the Keshe Foundation with the two heads of the Keshe Foundation. Man has to move for the time being in the dimension of the love and care and gentleness, not arrogance of women, and the man who created more arrogance and war with it. And with it, will bring new dimension in policy. For sure, Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States. That's without a doubt. We don't see Biden completing his cycle. And she will bring a woman, female with her in the board for women. And we see the head of the Senate will move in that way in the same lower house. And with it, this movement will go around the world. As I'm invited back to China by Chinese government in the upcoming time, we have a whole program at the moment is on the move for this visit, official visit back to China as the head of the Keshe Foundation. everything is under preparation by national security in China for me to return. We see the head of the Keshe Foundation in China taking a prime position in interaction with the Chinese government. And this process with it will bring a lot of changes. New technology is needed. A new way of thinking is needed. And in so many ways, everything is set for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your knowledge, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for today. And I hope we will be able to give you more detailed information by Thursday. And hopefully by the following Thursday, what we call the Lintz Fair will become a breakthrough in science and technology, where we don't show the enhancement unit, but we show to national, international media a new breakthrough in every aspect: farming, agriculture, health, energy, the space and defense, deeper space defense, and in so many ways, showing a breakthrough in knowledge and technology. And as part of this work, we are on the tour of meeting ambassadors and leaders who will and invited to attend the Lintz this week to make sure everything goes smoothly. And we have received the backing of the leadership that they'll support through the Iranian ambassador and Iranian officials to see the success of this conference in Austria as a joint Iranian Chinese Austrian venture. We'll see what will come up.
As you're saying, are we there yet?
We are already past it.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed.